Tonight's guest is a two-time Grammy-winning pioneer of hip-hop and rap who successfully fuses style and substance with albums like Radio and Bigger and Deffer. He's also the star of UPN's In the House. Please welcome LL Cool J, ladies and gentlemen.
That was funny.
Hey, LL. Thanks for coming on, man. Appreciate it.
Woo! God damn.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. After that, I feel like I should have worn jeans and a T-shirt or something. I'm like, damn, yo, that was funny.
Yeah.
That was real funny.
You got a little run in your hat.
That was real funny, yeah. Yeah. Hey, yo, Dennis, that shirt is a little hairy, man. Let's.
I know, man. I'm sorry. I was trying to look hip because.
I hear you.
What are you? You're the man, aren't you?
I hear you, man.
Huh? Now, when you first got into music, who were the people you looked up to? Did you notice that you happened to be attracted to people you felt were substantive, or just people who were flash when you were
Substantive.
a kid? Yeah.
That's funny. I got into substance because when I became a fan of rap music, there were no videos. There were no pictures of these guys. It was merely these records with no pictures on the album covers circulating in tapes. So I got into the substance and these young kids just saying things that I understood, you know, dreaming the dreams I dreamt. You know, it was that simple.
When you first started out, did you have a idea of what you wanted to say and you built a style around that, or did you just have an image?
Well, what happened with me was, you know, growing up as a child, you know, I was abused. You know what I mean? That explains this hat. No, I'm just kidding. Growing up as a child, you know, I was abused and I went through a lot of things. So for me,
rap music.
abused? Yeah, I was abused. My stepfather. But, you know, this right here became, well, rap music became a way for me to express myself and kind of express my pain. I didn't necessarily say things about that in my music, but it was a way for me to feel macho, for me to feel cool, and for me to feel like I was no longer powerless. So that was what I was escaping from. So I was running from something totally different, even though my music didn't reflect that at the time.
Now, when he was pushing you around, you must have not had hit the weights by then, because he wouldn't be fucking with you now.
I was 8 years old. No. Right about now, I had to put a foot in his ass. But at that point, you know what I'm saying?
You were 8 years old?
I was 8 years old.
What a son of a bitch. That is unbelievable,
you know,
man.
but it happens. It happens, you know. So hopefully my son won't have to sit here. He definitely won't have to sit here and say that about me. So that's the main thing, right?
Well,
I'm not trying to depress nobody.
No, but you got to break the cycle of abuse at some point. That becomes your goal in life.
Well, the cycle broke me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm done with it. You know, I'm done with it. Now, you know, I feel good. I'm thankful. You know, hopefully, I wrote a book about it, you know, about my life and the things that happened in my life. So hopefully young kids could read it and be inspired by it. I talked about all the things I did, you know, smoking weed, you know, sniffing coke, doing all the stuff, you know, and told them they like this shit. It's like, there's a dark side to this world.
That fucker invented it.
You killed 10 people? Cool. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know, but, you know, I talked about all that stuff, and hopefully kids will be able to avoid it. You know what I mean?
Now, does your kid call you LL Cool J?
Yeah. Yes. We rap at the breakfast table. Mom comes over, she raps. My grandmother's a DJ. Yo, you know what I mean? Everybody's hip-hopping and shit. You know what I mean? Wife is serving breakfast doing this. You know what I mean?
By posing as the square, I set LL up for the cool answer. I figured I'd take the charging violation.
No, my kids call me daddy, and they're really much more interested in Barney than me. You know what I'm saying? Shit, yo, I'd play Barney for them checks he give me. Damn.
Now, now you seem to not fit into any of the molds. Like, I think your outfit tonight is interesting. You look like my banker, except you have.
I got the street scarf on.
Yeah, so I'm.
And you look like the cool white boy that sells drugs in high school, but a little bit older.
You know what? You can't believe how good this is for me. Everybody thinks I'm such a smartass, and it's beautiful to have somebody come on and chill me repetitively. You've humbled me.
Nah,
I don't want to call you Elliot. I'll call you Daddy. You've humbled me, Daddy.
My son.
Now, but has anybody tried to
Yeah.
I can't see you listening to anybody telling you how to market yourself.
You know,
you seem to be your own man. But did they try to get you to?
I understand, you know, see what happens is sometimes we think about what you're going to ask me. I come on with the suit, it kind of throws it off a little bit. If I had the pants leg rolled up, little jeans, hat or whatever, it might have been a little different. But yes, they come to me, they say, "El, you know, you need to wear a certain kind of sweater, or could you dress, you know, this is Good Morning America, you know, there are a lot of housewives watching, could you dress a certain way?" My thing is this, judge me by what I say and how I carry myself, not by you know, what I'm wearing. Because you know what, Dennis, let's be honest, we all know that this suit does not mean I mastered calculus. It's just a suit. Right. So, I don't believe that clothes make the difference.
But I do find it interesting that in contemporary America, I think there are a lot of parents who would feel ill at ease sometimes trusting their kids with some rappers, and you have a highly successful TV show.
That's true.
And then I think there are some rappers who would ostracize a guy. Well, it would ostracize a guy who was deciding to do essentially a family-oriented comedy. You know what I mean? It's interesting to me that you can bridge both gaps without losing credibility in either one.
Well, you know what the key is to me? I think that a lot of times we have to understand that at the essence of rap music, and when you talk about hip-hop, when you talk about that kind of music, most of the guys really are just guys that want to make it out of their situation. I mean, you know, it's a rough situation. Maybe they say things that everybody doesn't understand, things that some people don't think are that cool, but most of the guys just want to make it out of their situation. So me doing a television show, I'm just expanding and broadening my horizons, and I got to make it regardless. I can't sit around worrying about whether or not my man right here with the rag around his head is upset because I'm doing a TV show. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're going to pay my phone bill.
You got to take care of it.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, I got to do what I got to do. And plus, this television show for me is a chance and a forum for me to put some positive messages out there so we can break those stereotypes so he can feel more comfortable about respecting his family and going to school and being normal instead of trying to walk around like a killer when it's not necessary. You know? That's the way I feel about it.
Now, when's that Wu-Tang sitcom coming?
It might come. Hey, don't sleep. If somebody asked you 6 years ago, when's that LL sitcom coming? You'd be like, you know what I mean? Before Will Smith did Fresh Prince, they Will with a TV show. You know what I mean? I think it's just a matter of time. I think that younger kids don't see that black and white thing as much as adults. You got to remember that. You know? Adults, they get older, you know, get jaded. Dad makes a couple of comments about the news. Look at him getting shoved in that police car, motherfuckers, you know, something. You know what I'm saying? And then next thing you know, the kids grow up and they get bitter about life and they have different feelings about people. But young kids, they're honest. They're truthful. You know, not always. I mean, did you clean up your room? Yes, and they're lying. But I mean, when it comes to their behavior, you know, they're truthful and honest. You know, if you're fat, they'll call you fat. You know what I mean? And I think that that's the important part. I try not to look at the world too much through the black and white thing. I understand that it exists. It doesn't bother me. I know that some people are racist, and if you're racist, that's your problem. You got to carry them bricks. But me, I got to keep moving. So I try to judge men by how they, you know,
Christ, how much sense do you make, man?
You know what I'm saying?
Huh? Jesus Christ. Huh?
You know what I'm saying? That's the way I look at it.
Well, I see you putting all these varied showbiz things behind you someday and being a leader, man. Jesus, you make, huh? Christ, you cut right through it.
You know,
I love
because
that thinking.
I'm going to be honest. My thing is this. I'm not interested in trying to be like this pretentious guy that, you know, makes money and walks around and shuns valets and, you know, spits on the homeless guy that's outside Mr. Childs when he's jumping into his Mercedes. You know what I'm saying? That's not really my thing. My thing is, you know, but I'm not trying to be Robin Hood either because I don't want to rob the rich. I want to work, get rich, and then give to the poor. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like split in the middle, you know?
You're a pragmatist. I admire that in a human. What do we got next? We got line one, Scotty from Long Island, New York. You got a question for our guest. Scott?
I do. What do you guys think about one artist sampling another's music and maybe even going so far as to win a Grammy?
I didn't hear. What did he say?
What do we feel about one artist sampling another guy's music and then going so far as to win a Grammy?
Well, you know
On the other guy's music.
None of the artists who get sampled seem to be bothered by it, so who am I to be bothered by it? You know, I don't hear anybody really protesting it.
That's true. That's one side of it. But you know how I feel about it? I look at it like this. Nobody asks those questions when, you know, somebody sings somebody's song over, then it's a cover tune and it's classy. Why is that? You know what I mean? It's a cover tune. When Michael Bolton does, When a Man Loves a Woman, that's a cover tune. Oh, that's a cover tune. That's different. You know what I mean? That's stylish.
It's just
eloquent. You know what I mean? But you know, if Puff samples a record, then oh, he's a piece of garbage. How could he? He's making all this money. It's not fair. You know, come on. Stop being. You know, my thing. Don't be a hypocrite. You know what I mean? Would you take the check?
I'm right there.
You know what I mean? So let's do it. You know,
I'm waiting for the day that Puff samples Michael Bolton.
Hey, yo. If you think they wasn't on the phone last week discussing some remixes or something.
I guarantee it.
So
now, what do we got here, LL? I want to talk about the new album before you go. You're nice enough to come on. I want to sell the product here. What do we got? LL Cool J Phenomena. This is your new album?
That's my new album, Phenomenon, and I have a lot of different songs on there. A lot of guest artists. I have a song on there called Father where I talk about what we was talking about earlier. You know, abuse and overcoming that. And, you know, there's a lot of interesting things on there. They should check it out.
Well, you know what, man? I'll honor your desire for yourself. I won't think of you as a Superman, but I'll think of you as a damn good man. You seem to make a lot of sense. LL Cool J, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to do the news. Hang around.